It's something that I'm never going to forget. I really did enjoy doing it, and I'm working with the boaters, and as I said, they're my peeps, and I really enjoyed that. This is the highlight of my life, to tell you the truth, and I'm sorry that I can't go on with it, but the city made it impossible.
The Palm Coast Yacht Club steps away from the holiday boat parade after 41 years. For the past 9 years, Sarah Eulis has overseen every detail of the Palm Coast Holiday Boat Parade, but is now reluctantly stepping down.
The issue with me was that the city was so bent on throwing up roadblocks, new roadblocks with every year that went by. There was no continuity of information from one year to another. I had to re-explain the parade every year and re-justify why we did what we did. The sole reason we gave it over to the city was because of financial reasons. We simply couldn't afford it.
Eulis gives details about some of the roadblocks, making it impossible for her to continue the celebratory event.
They started charging fees to us for the use of waterside in real estate for which we were not responsible. The parade was held on the ICW, not in the parks. And there's no way to quantify how many people came, and there was no way to predict how many people would come. People came because they liked it and they enjoyed it. And our position is that the city should pay for that, not the Palm Coast Yacht Club, and it was depleting our funds by 1/2 every year.
Eulis's devotion to the event has always begun at the beginning of a new year and goes forward with recruitment, publicity, coordination, and whatever else it took to involve hundreds of decorated boats down the intracoastal waterway.
It was a crown jewel in the entire life of Florida. In 2023, it was the largest in Florida and the third largest in the United States. And how do I know? I counted. The city council also characterized it as overwhelming to us, and it's not 100% not true. That it never even came up. I never had trouble getting volunteers for the 2 events that I needed help with.
Now the future of the Palm Coast Boat Parade lies with the city leaders. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Wednesday, January 22nd.
If it was 50-50 and one is dramatically impacted and one is inconvenienced, I'm more on the side of the dramatically impacted.
Palm Coast residents are divided over whether to allow commercial vehicles to be parked in neighborhoods.
One question brought up during the Friday free-for-all, whether it makes sense to force small business owners to pay for storage of their commercial vehicles. Palm Coast Mayor Mike Norris.
We're having that discussion, and I had a discussion with the city manager, and me and Tracy, my wife, we had the discussion. And I think it's a perspective of those moms that are staying at home and the dad's going to work or whatever the situation is. They see that money going out for that storage, and they're trying to balance the checkbook and make sure that the kids are taken care of. And especially if you have a couple of things, if you have a van and you have a trailer, you're doubling up those prices for storage.
Palm Coast Fire Chief Kyle Berryhill with his perspective.
I could see some reasons to where we would create, some type of a way that you registered a vehicle like that, or people have similar things about boats, and so maybe if it's going to be something that we have to police, that we could make it something that was and I say police, we have to check on people that were out of line. We'd create some kind of path to fund the staff that requires for that, but I feel like there's definitely a way to get there, and I appreciate what the mayor said about saying that we have to work together and compromise.
The discussion continues tomorrow. I'm Daryl Moody reporting.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. In other news, a small group of FPC football players and parents gathered after school along State Road 100, holding signs to protest the recent dismissal of head football coach Daniel Fish. The school district has not yet disclosed the reason for Fish's firing, but did issue a statement on Tuesday morning confirming the decision without providing further details. The statement read, "Administration met with Mr. Fish earlier this morning regarding his current status. At this time, he is no longer the head coach of the Flagler Palm Coast High School football program. However, he remains a certified educator within Flagler schools." And finally, Flagler County officials are reminding residents that nighttime double lane closures on Interstate 95 will begin tonight and continue tomorrow on the bridge over Moody Boulevard, State Road 100. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.